Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first council meeting of 2026. Thank you all for attending, both here in person and online. We have a good agenda moving forward. And so to start out, do we have any presentations before? Okay, all right, just the one? Okay. All right. So anyways, we will just adopt the agenda first of all. Any additions to the agenda?
Yeah, I have a couple additions.
Okay.
I was in a little stat. Oh, go ahead. Status of the 540 construction project on that road.
Okay, so we'll put that under operations.
And I'd like to bring back the Ray Brown road signs that we discussed last council, because we had some misinformation. We weren't directed correctly on that one, so I'd like to bring it back.
So that would be under operations as well. So let's go 5.3 and 5.4. So it's Brown is 5.4 and 5.3 is Township 540. Okay, thank you. Any other additions? Trista?
We received an invitation to meet with Minister Williams, Municipal Affairs at the RMA convention. So if we would like to talk about that, please.
So that would go under or administration, or where do you want that?
Yeah. Administration, please.
Administration, okay. Williams. That's good. Perfect. Any other additions? And then we'll just add after the acceptance of agenda, we don't have it in there, but the open session, okay? Trista?
The public input session is on there. It's just in the wrong location, it looks like. So
it's way down there.
we can move it up.
Yeah, let's move it up. Okay. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, we'll move that up right after the acceptance of the agenda. All right. Okay. Any other changes? If not,
I'll move the agenda.
Dale moves the agenda. All in favor? That's carried. All righty. So we will open the floor to the public input session. Mr. Harapchuk.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Morning.
Speak into the mic, please.
I'd like to thank Tessa for keeping the county going here for the CEO. And I believe that you might have hired the right CAO.
Thank you.
Now, in this bulletin, this was in December of 8th, page 19, Mike Primo, the amount of money that was the previous council gave, $622,860. You know, the county could have bought a brand new grader for that price with a wing on it.
Absolutely.
And drove that grader for $14,000 and then took it to the auction sale and so had some dollars left over. When us taxpayers read this here, our blood just boiled. Not good.
We're with you. That's one of the reasons I think there's 7 new people sitting here. Somebody want to mention? No.
But after January 12th, I'd like to have a talk with the new CEO about prior to this building being built here. I'd like to explain something to her that is very important, if that is possible.
Well,
And sitting right there, ask her.
After the 12th.
I think and normally it's not a back and forth, but just to answer that, I think without a question, our new CAO has an open door policy, and for any ratepayer who has legitimate concerns and wants to meet with her, you know the phone number here, you know where she works,
Right.
and I think that's an open invitation to ratepayers.
Right.
She will be present in the building. That was a
Good.
big thing we talked to her about.
Okay, that's all. I'm under my 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Andy.
Shut this off or leave it on or what?
All right, was there anyone else for the open session? No? Anyone online? No? Okay, well, let's move right into the meat of things. Council meeting minutes, December 12th. You've all had a chance to go through them. Any errors or omissions on that? If not, I would accept a motion to accept those minutes. Jill, all in favor? That's carried. Same thing, December 23rd, special meeting minutes that are in your package as well. We have all the documentation there that all were in favor of holding a special meeting on short notice. Any errors or omissions in that? No? Would someone approve those? Mike approves those minutes. All in favor? That motion's carried. And the December 30th council meeting, special council meeting as well. Same thing, was held on short notice, and that one was where we actually signed the contract with Ann Mitchell, and was approved at that time. And that meeting was not because we didn't have our techies here to do the direct streaming. That was not direct streamed, but as I understand, it is on YouTube now that that you can listen to that meeting. I did make a statement in that one on the contract, so if anyone is interested, they can listen to that, and they'll have some of the details of the contract we signed with Anne, which will alleviate some of the current concerns that happened with the former CEO, where that massive amount of money was paid out. And this council put some safeguards in there that that will not happen again. All right.
And I want to add too that in those conversations with the new CAO, she was very open as well, gave us complete authority to say whatever was in the contract. So that's totally public. So the rest of the public that's not here that might be listening can also take a peek and see. Thank you.
Yeah, on that note, I want to thank Anne very much in terms of negotiating the contract and providing it to the public. Anne was more than willing to be like our council is. We want to be open. We want to share with the ratepayers what the decisions are and why. And Anne was more than forthcoming. It was actually, and I thank you, Anne. It was an absolute pleasure doing the work with you. And it was, well, it's one of the simplest contracts I've ever had to deal with, where someone is so forthcoming and willing to share and be open, and gave me the feeling, and I think council the feeling, that we're working together for the good of this county. And I think there's some good days ahead. So thank you very much, Anne, on that. Okay, back to the minutes. Can someone move that adoption? Mike, all in favor? Carried. All righty, so we'll go on to operations 5.1, correspondence from ratepayer Milton Breitkreutz. So that goes,
I can speak to that.
oh, you're speaking to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's a very unique situation. He's just off Highway 43. The road he's asking about is about 128 yards long. It used to be paved. It doesn't go anywhere but to his house. I don't know why the road was designed there at all. He's asking, he just wants something back because he wants to maintain it instead of sending our grader down the road 1.4 kilometers, do this 125 yards, turn around, cross Highway 43 twice, and go back to grading. It makes logical sense that we somehow make this work for him. Because I don't think a grader going down the road for 3 or 4 kilometers down the highway just to do one little stretch of road doesn't make much sense to me. So any feedback you guys want to let me know?
Okay, so are there any other comments from council first on this? Well, oh, Dale,
Want me
I
to
don't
go
care.
first?
Fight
Okay,
over.
all right. Well, I know the road. I know the approach. It's been there ever since the highway was constructed. But I do understand that it's in the middle of where there is any other grading. It's directly west of the old gravel pit. I can't think of the name. We talked about it yesterday. Reparo, exactly. So there's no grading within a mile on the north and south, and there's no grading on the east. So it appears that what we're having to do is we're having to take a grader coming from, I think it's I can't remember the 544 over to do over a mile, half a mile.
We don't have a
Map.
Okay.
Well, we do have a map. I
It's
don't know
about
if we put it
1.4
up.
clicks. I think I pinned it off somewhere close to that.
Are we techie enough to put the map up?
That doesn't matter.
Greg, are you familiar with the
Anyhow,
length of that
so-
road? Is it
so I
about
understand.
1.4 clicks from 544 to his driveway?
Yeah, because it goes right up to the intersection.
543, I think it would be. Yeah, and like I said, he's been maintaining it. He's been plowing it himself. And they just asked we're not asking much, just something
You bet. So
to
if
save
I
you
could-
some money.
Absolutely. So if I could ask just a couple of questions of yourself. So reading through his thing and doing our investigation with our public works team, doing that roadway is right in the split between two grader zones. So we do have a grader that comes down 544 and works things south. And then there's a different grader that works that section down towards that 544 area. So often that roadway is done last, and that's what I was worried was one of his implications. But talking to Public Works in the past, they were requested by this ratepayer in the summertime not to blade that road as often because there isn't much traffic on them. It's likely just him. And I believe we've been accommodating that. In the wintertime, however, that's a different story. We can't accommodate no plow. We need to go out there and plow because it's a connector between two different roadways. Anybody can utilize it, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't go anywhere. It goes to his house.
Well,
And
there's
it
one that
used
goes
to
to
be-
the south that goes to a landowner, but his at least on our legal plan, his land is to the north, which is the link between the two.
No, it
roadways.
drives. I drove in that road. It just
Yep.
drives right into his yard. It doesn't go anywhere.
I think you're thinking of that section of road that's just a little bit.
You're looking at the other one
north.
further over, not
Yeah.
his. His is literally used to be paved at one point. It's all busted up now. He's been plowing it himself.
Yep.
I actually been watching to see if he was still doing it. And he's just saying, look, give me a break. Give me $200, something. Just saying, I'll take care of the road. You guys don't ever go down it again. If it can happen, I think that makes sense. Instead of sending a grader down the highway for three
Okay,
kilometers.
So I would like to visit this road with you to make sure we got the right road, that we're both thinking about the right road.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just interrupt it a little bit? I think it's a good discussion, but I think we want to be very careful on doing a one-off of paying someone to do their road. There's going to be 100 of them.
I'm not saying paying him.
Well,
Just give him some sort of a,
that's what I'm being asked for.
yeah.
And so I think the discussion is a good discussion. And if that's what council wants to do, then be prepared that we're going to get, I don't know, probably 50 or 100 of those requests. And I mean, we heard it yesterday in
Yeah, we know.
that we should give consideration to people mowing their ditches. So that's, when you open that door, then we can't just give it to one and not to others. So I think we have to be, the discussion's good. The decision has to be taken overall, not just on one property.
Yeah, like I said, it's a unique road. There's nothing else I've
What's
seen.
that?
I haven't seen another road like this in the county.
There's lots of those roads,
There is, I haven't
lots
seen.
of them. I have one.
So if I, oh, sorry.
Hi, I just want to make sure that no matter what council decides to do, that administration is given the opportunity to check with our insurance and for liability as well too, with another person looking after the roads.
Yeah, certainly. Well,
Maybe a subcontractor type situation might work in this situation where you grant them a contract to maintain that road, similar to what we're thinking of doing for the snow removal for people that can't do it themselves. So maybe a subcontract.
Dale?
So we do have a policy now about clearing snow. I suggest that we defer this till we look at the policy and see where it fits. And then at that point,
Yeah.
we can decide if we want to change something, we can put parameters around it so that we can control that.
Okay, Greg?
So thank you, council. So just to clarify a few other things, we do have a few other roads in the county where we back down a little bit on our maintenance at requests of the operators, because they are dead end roads. They're the only access to it, and we have things on file, but there is a liability issue, as Carla said. So we do have other roads in regards to that. I see that as item 1 here. Item 2, the way I read this email is I don't think he's asking for compensation for maintaining the road. I think he's asking for compensation to take the gravel out of the ditches that he did in the spring because he names his hours. That I agree with you, Counselor. We can't get into that ball game, or we're going to be busier cleaning our ditches than we are maintaining our roadways. If we start paying these guys to remove that.
Yeah, I think this is going to take a lot longer discussion, and it is a policy that has to go across the county, whatever we decide to. But I think, as all things, it's worthwhile bringing him up, it's worthwhile discussing him, and ultimately we're going to come up with a good decision.
And in response to the letter that was sent, I believe we should respond to the letter with what we have just said. We're going to review the policy so it works, and then that ratepayer will understand that we did attempt to deal with it.
Absolutely. I think that is critical on all requests, that we respectfully answer and we share what we have discussed. Very good point, Dale. Thank you. So with that, you'll move to defer? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Barry.
Should we go with option 1, move to receive his information?
Okay, oh, wait, all right. All right, thank you. And I actually wouldn't mind if it puts in the minutes that we are going to look at this again. So not just information.
Option 2 then.
What does option 2 say?
Put your glasses on.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg.
Sorry, I was just going to make mention, why don't we make 2 motions here? Number 1, accept as information, and make a second motion that we're going to be revisiting the snow clearing policy.
That works for me too.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Sure. Ann?
I also think it's helpful to put into that motion, even though it's a little bit directive, that we follow up with a letter so that there's very clear direction that the
Okay.
expectation is that the letter goes out
All
as
right.
well. Too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's have a motion then. The first one is that we accept for information. Okay, Mike makes that. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Carried. The second motion, Dale, did you want to make that or Barry? Okay, Barry.
Second motion is we'll correspondence letter to the ratepayer.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it back to further discussion once we do see the bylaws and the policies regarding snow clearing.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. All right. 5.2 Bella Vista Estates. Is that Tanya's or Mike's? Oh, that's that one. Oh, that's a review of that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can speak to this. This is the house trailer they wanted to move into Bella Vista on lot 17, if I recall. And it was going to be put on wood blocking, which goes directly against the land use bylaw, which is either a foundation or a full basement. So it got passed to the last meeting, I believe. So I brought it back today to overturn that decision because I got a lot of angry ratepayers in there that built houses and, they don't, I think they want us to follow the bylaws that are in place for the subdivision.
Okay, so what is the new information that you have that we didn't have last meeting?
Well, they used the old Sandy Lake landfill, which is, where's my map here? I think it borders lot 46 and 47, which is in the entranceway of Bella Vista subdivision. And lot 17 is probably on the back end. It's almost a quarter mile away. So I don't think that using that as we don't want to disturb the soil is a valid explanation to override the bylaws. If that makes sense.
Yep. Okay, Tanya?
So land use bylaw, section 24.1.7 regarding mobile homes, modular homes in this particular subdivision being direct control. It says that number A shall adhere to the following architectural controls. Must include a basement or foundation that are not piles. It does not prohibit blocking. Blocking is considered a foundation on their Alberta building codes. So it's not technically against, it's a discretionary use. Blocking is listed as foundation.
Okay. All right. Bob?
Yeah, technically you're correct there, but the basic concept here is that people that built nice houses in these subdivisions expected those land use bylaws to be upheld. Discretionary use should only be used in extreme circumstances, not in general applications, I don't believe. So I think we need to really look at that and determine whether we want to keep on going with discretionary uses throughout these subdivisions and ignoring land use bylaws.
Dale?
So then we were also made aware that that there had been a home built in that subdivision that is on a foundation and a basement. So the idea of ground disturbance was already approved in a previous decision. And this particular decision says we didn't want ground disturbance because of X, Y, and Z. And I think we weren't aware, and no fault to administration, we just weren't aware that there already was several ground disturbance developments in that area. So we couldn't understand why, after finding that out, why we would approve this one on blocks, along with the other information that was given by the other counselors.
That's correct. Yeah, my understanding, yes, is the old landfill is borders that ER or 49 ER is the landfill. I don't know what map that's on.
Can you pull that other map up? That one that,
Right,
yeah, that
right
one
there.
That right there.
So 46, lot 46, lot 47 are all houses with basements. The only direction they were given 10 years ago was to drill their water well close to the highway. He's got a little spot on the back end of 46 that he can't build on due to the landfill. He also according to a phone call conversation, lot 10 wanted to put a log cabin on pilings last year. And they were directed to put it on a foundation, not pilings. This is all phone call. I don't have emails of this, so I just go off of what the homeowner told me. And now we want to put a house trailer on lot 17, which is even further back on blocking. And I feel like we're circumventing the bylaws to accommodate, stuff that we shouldn't be doing. If we got bylaws in place, we should try to follow them to the best of our ability, so we don't always have these issues.
So just a question, that map is there, and I don't know, are the only houses there, those few that we see, most of the lots are empty?
No,
I
Mr.
think-
Chairman, quite a bit more is developed at this point in time. The only reason you see the houses on that is that's the land ownership map that GIS created for the rural addressing. The parcels further to the west are developed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So 2 has a house on it?
No, 1, 3,
1, 3, 4.
4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 47, 40, 39, 14, 13, 12, 19, 20, 23. Sorry, 23 is a manufactured, 24 is a manufactured, 18 is a manufactured, 16 is a modular. The rest are houses or converted shops with living quarters. So in the original land use by recommendation to December's meeting, there are 3 other existing manufactured homes within Bella Vista along the west side of the subdivision. The parcels within the northwest corner, Bella Vista Estates Morgan Way, consists of 2 modular mobiles, 2 homes under 1,200, and 2 homes at 1,500, and 2 vacants. So 21 and 22 are vacant at this point in time. The last 4 principal uses were approved in Bella Vista were 1,000 square foot stick built, which was in 2025, a 1,485 square foot garage with living quarters in 2025, a 1,600 square foot garage with living quarters in 2022, and an 1,196 square foot garage in 2022. So about half of the subdivision is developed. Majority is houses or garage with living quarters. There is 3 other manufactured homes. Those manufactured homes would have been probably approved under the previous land use bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Mike, Dale?
Yeah, so, and that is part of the information that virtually is new. We never heard that it's almost developed, right?
Well, half developed. Half
this-
developed.
Yeah, off this particular map. So that's one of the other things. But we are hearing that there are other mobile home structures there, and we're hearing that they're on foundations. Is that correct?
That was included in the previous discussion.
Yes.
It is in the agenda package.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I see this as an ongoing issue with the subdivision. So whatever we decide, we need to stick to it. And I believe the land use bylaw, if it needs to be changed in this particular instance, that might be an option, but I don't think that's our best option.
Is there any caveats in this estates against mobile homes going in at one point?
If there was previously, it was only a developer caveat, not a land use bylaw endorsed by the municipality. So if a developer wants to put on a caveat to restrict the type of development through architectural controls, and it's not signed by the municipality, we cannot enforce it. Only that previous developer can enforce their own architectural controls. We have to go with the land use bylaw that's in place at the time of the application.
Okay,
So right now it's direct control for manufactured homes, and it just states basement or foundation that's not piles. Therefore, blocking is still considered a foundation. That's why it's a discretionary use and was brought forward.
do we know if these other mobile homes are on blocks or foundation or pilings, or what are they on?
I believe they
They're all
are on foundation.
Okay, so it would make sense that we should keep the running trend. They should be on a foundation then. Does that make sense to anybody?
I would have to agree. Yeah, that's part of the bylaw.
Yeah, if that's in the bylaw, then we stick to it.
So the other manufactured homes you're saying are all with foundations?
I believe so.
And you would allow a foundation there, unless I misunderstood. I thought they weren't allowed to because
So
it
he
was,
would be allowed to apply for a basement. The landowner has requested blocking instead of instead of a basement.
oh, okay. All right. So, because just what I'm thinking here is if we've allowed other manufactured homes there, it'd be difficult not to allow this one. If they were allowed because they have a foundation and this one doesn't, there's a differentiation. So I can live with that. But to not allow it, if it's the same conditions, I think we'd have a problem. And there would be an appeal that would probably be won.
Well, you'd have to make them follow the same rules as the other ones did. Keep them all universal.
Well, but
The other
they're
ones
there
are-
already. You can't kick them out.
I'm saying these other three are on foundations. If this fourth one wants to come in, it should be built
It-
the same way. It should be on a
That's my
foundation.
point. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said.
Take the blocking out of the equation altogether.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me that
Yeah.
you put a foundation and that it's the same as the others.
Yes.
But I mean, when you have a subdivision like this is only half developed. Do we want to leave it like that for the next 50 years or do we want it all developed?
Oh, develop it, but just keep a standard.
Well, but obviously the old standard maybe isn't working. That's why you see some manufactured homes there. Greg?
Sorry if I may, blocking actually is a form of foundation. To further to what Tanya had described here, if you want, we can go look at those existing ones to see the type of foundation they had utilized. But I would think at this point, it'd be a risk to say that blocking is not a foundation. It is a form of a foundation.
Okay.
I think what Councillor Valtner's thinking, you're envisioning a concrete foundation. But we would have to go into the files to see what the old permits had for those other ones to be for sure. But it is both of them are foundations by definition.
I think as long as everything's conformed the same way, all conformity, if you're gonna allow mobile homes, they're all gonna be done the same way.
Yeah, I think it's more aesthetic than anything is what it looks like. And that I totally agree, if they're old junky trailers in there, you don't want that for sure.
Well, no, they should be, it's right in the land use bylaw. It's gotta be a frost wall, right? Or a 4-foot frost wall or a basement. So I don't know why they're trying to sneak it in on blocking. If it is a foundation or not, I mean, that's, I don't even know if you can get insurance for a house trailer on blocking anymore, but it's, to me, I think we're not following the land use bylaw, and this is gonna be an ongoing problem with every development that we change, that we do this for.
Sorry, just to further with you, Mike, when you say we're not following the land use bylaw, what are you meaning? Because our administration is following the
well,
bylaw.
where it says it's got to be on a frost wall or a basement, right? Right in that, whatever that number is, right? It's in there, and the landowners and homeowners in there have pointed it out a few times to me. It's where it says it can't be on screw pilings, it's got to be on a frost wall, foundation, or a basement.
Yeah, so I don't see the termination with frost wall here, but 24.1.7 of the agenda package, mobile home and modular homes, sorry, I need my glasses, shall adhere to the following architectural controls, must include a basement or foundation that are not piles. But I agree with you, a mobile home without usually they have to be strapped and tied for hurricane winds. I'm not sure what they're doing there to do that, but that would come through the safety codes inspection outside of our scope.
What's that? Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah, well, I mean, part of the issue is, they switched from trailers to manufactured homes. And, the manufactured homes are very different than a trailer that we used to relate to trailers, right? And yeah,
And that's why I'd like to overturn this so that they gotta put it on a basement or of a concrete foundation so that they kind of conform with the rest of the houses that you see when you drive into that Bell Vista. It's been a bit since I've been in there, but that's, and that's kind of where the one owner is concerned now. He's wondering what changed that we don't want to do ground disturbance. That was kind of what we were told last meeting is we don't want to do ground disturbance. So that's why we don't want to do screw piles or dig basements out there. So he's wondering what changed in the last year and a half since he says lot 10 was forced to put it or was told to put it on a basement and couldn't use screw piles. And now all of a sudden we don't want to do ground disturbance anymore. So he wants to know if that landfill is that hazardous, why was he allowed to build his house right beside it?
right.
So I'll get Tanya to back up here and make sure I don't overstep what my thought process on this is, but the geotech works and whatnot that we're referring to here with the foundations and stuff aren't dealing with anything to do with the landfill. The landfill restrictions is strictly with the proximity of the structures and the wells that are in the area. But to say that the landfill is affecting foundations, I don't see anything in here or the geotech report for the area that identify that. So
We were told
I don't know,
that
Tris,
last
if
time.
Tanya can maybe back me up on that. But
I think he's asking why there's a ground disturbance policy in place or why they can't do ground disturbance now and other guys can put basements in other places.
That was totally my statement. That was not in the land use bylaw. So, and the reason that I stated was because the landowner in his discussion with us applying for it, said, I'd prefer not to have any ground disturbance in that area just to keep it level. That is the reason that he applied for the blocking, not doing the basement.
That's not how
We did not force
That's not
anyone.
how it came across to us though.
Okay.
But at our.
And that's my
previous-
description. Sorry, that's my incorrect then describing it to you at the December 12th meeting.
Okay, because at December 12th meeting, I think all of us heard that you had said they can't disturb
No.
it.
The landowner wished to not disturb.
Well, that wasn't
not how it came
conveyed to
across.
us, I
Yeah.
don't believe.
So
Yeah,
that's
no.
my error then explaining it to you
Okay,
at December
Yeah.
12th meeting.
That-
I will take, yep,
that clarifies.
Yeah. because I
why we
totally
had
said
the
that he didn't want to
misunderstanding.
do a basement. He preferred to do blocking because piles are not allowed.
So that's a very different than what we heard. And I mean, the reason we gave the approval with blocking was simply because we thought he wasn't allowed to do it.
Absolutely.
So that,
And
Yeah.
that's why we re-brought this back up, because it was apparent that there was something not quite right. Now, I just quickly checked the Alberta Building Code. And here's what it says. Under the Alberta Building Code, a foundation must, and this is for modular homes, must transfer building loads safely, resist frost, heave, settlement, and lateral movement, be durable and permanent, comply with engineered prospective requirements. Loose or stacked wood blocks do not meet this. So that's why we have this before us
Because
today.
I haven't seen a trailer be put on wood blocking since probably 95, to be
Yeah.
honest, and I've wired a few of them, so.
well, this, I don't know what he was planning on doing, but
What we used to do back,
yeah. Oh, I know
was,
what
was just
used
6
to
by
happen.
6,
Yeah.
rip
Oh, yeah,
wrap
we did.
blocking.
Yeah.
Everybody had one, right? So now,
Yeah, I still have 2 trailers like
yeah,
that.
okay.
Blocking is still allowed under the code. It's just a different section of the
Yeah.
Alberta Building Code.
Yeah.
The inspector reviews it. And as long as it conforms to the Alberta Building Code, they can approve the foundation.
Yeah.
But we do have more than one. Like I know of one that was 6 months ago, was approved for blocking. Area.
Yeah.
Like it was out on a quarter section.
6 months ago, though, this council wasn't here.
But that's building code. You can't override the building code. The building inspector is the only one that can give a variance or approve it.
So council, what's that? Well, but then we have to make a decision if we're allowed or not. because it's our decision.
Do we stick to the original land use bylaw?
Well, but the land use bylaw makes this discretionary. So we have to address that.
So we can say, put it on not wood blocks.
I think we
Like,
need to see what the other,
Not on wood, do you know what his proposal is on what type of blocking?
just wood blocking, standard wood blocking.
Yeah, but is it? How do you know? Is
Well,
that what it says in the
That's what it
application?
says in his application. is wood
It
blocking.
does?
Yeah, if you scroll down, I believe it says it.
Okay, if you can show that to me,
Where is it?
They'll have to go up.
Gotta go up.
did you find it?
Stop. Go down. Keep going. Keep going. To the bottom of that page. Right there.
Yeah,
Okay,
gravel pad,
gravel
wood
pads
blocks.
and wood blocks. So that then is not allowed.
That's the discretionary part, but we need to know what the other three mobile homes have done.
But the wood blocks isn't even discretionary. Is it?
Yes, because wood blocking is a type of foundation, not piles, not a basement.
Discretionary point means that we get to decide whether we allow it to go or we
Yeah.
don't allow it to go.
Yeah.
That's the decision that we make here today.
All right, well, let's,
He's gonna bring it back and appeal it, and then he'll wanna know what he's gonna supposed to put his trailer on.
and we can approve it with that will change that type of foundation. I think we have that power.
No,
We can't?
you either have to refuse it as applied for, or you have to approve it as applied for with conditions. You cannot change.
Well, so we approve with conditions that it isn't the wood blocks.
I believe, but we'll probably hear the answer. This application is the application. We either approve it or we don't approve it. If we don't approve it, then the owner has the opportunity to come back, present to us what he's doing, and then we decide at that point. So the question is, yes, we approve it, or no, we don't. Simple.
Correct. You are correct. You either have to approve it as applied for, or you have to refuse it as applied for that it doesn't comply with whatever reasoning council directs me to, because it's direct control. Then the landowner has an opportunity to appeal or withdraw that application and reapply with a different.
Well, that may be true, but I believe we need to, at some point, figure out ways to do these things simpler. This is the old way of doing it. You refuse it, it gets appealed, and it goes through that year-long process. So I think we have a chance here, and maybe it isn't legally possible. I'm not a lawyer, but if would approve it with a different type of foundation, I think we write that in as a condition and save a whole pile of work from staff and our time and the applicant's time.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Just that.
I'm just wondering if an option is, and I don't know this, if an option is to defer and allow planning and development to speak with the applicant to see if he is willing
That works
to
for
change
me.
instead of
Yeah.
instead
That works for
of
me.
not approving it and
Yeah.
putting him through the whole process.
And
May
allow
just
them to
willingly-
change it.
Yeah, he may just
allow them to
willingly
it.
change.
I'm totally fine with that. Like I say, we want to make things work, not make it harder.
I'll make the motion that we defer this and send it back to planning to get more information. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think the first motion you need, and I'll look it up here, is to
Reverse our
reverse
decision.
the last
Yeah.
one.
We gotta reverse our
So you
decision
need
first.
to,
Motion 472-2025.
So
You
we
need
will
to
need a
rescind
motion
472.
Because that is your approval that you already gave.
to withdraw that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to withdraw that approval.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? All right, so we'll move that. So the second motion, Bill,
To defer that, send it back to planning, to talk to the owner, to find out what type of foundation he's willing to change to manage or to meet the bylaw.
Correct.
okay, thank you. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Thank you. Excellent.
Okay, there we go.
Well, all right, moving on to 5.3 Township Road 540. Barry, you were on that?
Yeah, we've noticed that 540's been closed. Now, after we said we were told the project was completed and ready to go. And I got people asking me, why do we have this expensive snowmobile trail right now?
So, yeah, I can definitely handle that question. So right before Christmas, that is what I reported from here. What was outstanding yet was appropriate signage for the project. And that has not been able to be put in place because our operations group has been a little busy through those snowfalls that we've had. As soon as we get a chance to put in that appropriate signage, stop signs and whatnot, it will be open.
Okay, we just wanted an update.
Thank you. All right. Brown, Trista, sorry.
sorry, could you accept that as information, please?
Oh, yeah, motion to accept that for information. Yeah, everybody. Barry, I'm gonna put Barry. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and on the Brown issue, Barry again?
We had talked about the Ray Brown property needing signage for their driveway. I wasn't fully aware where the train track was. It's quite a ways away from his driveway. It's not 100 yards. It's probably like 800 or 900 yards. It's not. It's not. It's way more. I drove the road. I actually went back there. It's at the end of the quarter section now. It's quite a ways from his driveway.
If we may, Counselor, just like the last one, can we look at a map together so that we are both looking at the same issues at the same time?
Absolutely.
So we'll
But
do
I know
that
for a
the meeting.
fact the train track is much further than we were specified. And I didn't want to speak out last time because I couldn't remember quite where it was, but it is quite a bit, like a
You bet.
quarter section away.
Well, I believe we had the map up at the last meeting, so let's talk together so that we are on the same location when we're understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Well, let's accept that for information. And Barry and Greg can work that out. All right, we'll make the motion. Jill, you made it. Okay, all in favor? Carried. All right, provincial education requisition credit. That's Carla?
That'll be me. So, this is before council. We had brought before the other council too for 2024 and prior years. The province, as you know, as you've heard throughout all the municipalities, industrial and linear accounts, there's lots of municipalities with large unpaid tax bills. So what the province allows is, Alberta Education is for us to get a credit for Alberta school requisition that we have to pay to the province. So a part of this is we list all the roles that are taxed in 2025 or have assessment and are taxed. We use our school tax rate, and then that's the rebate that we can apply for on the requisition that we're getting in 2026. This doesn't include any penalties. It doesn't include municipal taxes, of course. So it is just basically the tax rate for Alberta School Fund. So I've gone through part of the requirement to be accepted is for the municipalities to indicate how much tax dollars are going to be written off, which a part of that will be the municipal tax, school tax, penalties, all sorts of things. Or I shouldn't say all sorts of things. That's basically it. So this motion needs to come before council before January 15th and be to the province in order to qualify. As from my understanding, this will be the final year the province is going to be allowing this municipalities to do this, which is quite unfortunate. I don't know if there will be a change in that going forward for the 2026 year, because municipalities, it's their burden. It's coming out of their dollars, right? Well, the ratepayers' dollars. So we have set up a budget in 2025 for this. I had in the beginning when I was doing the budget had thought about making some of the properties that are delinquent as exempt, but further discussions, we thought we'd just leave it. So we definitely have the dollars in the 2025 budget to cover the write-off of it's just over $1.1 million. I'm going to actually ask you to go down to the very bottom of this. There's a list of all the roles that this accounts for. It's kind of a trouble too, because we have lots of accounts in here that they're delinquent, they're not paying, but they still have an active assessment. So therefore we are bound to tax them. We have to tax them. So that's why in our municipal budgets, we have been setting up a big amount in our allowance to cancel. I believe we set up $900,000 in 2025, and then the penalties were a little bit higher than what was budget too. So that's why we have an allowable amount in the budget to cover. So if we go on the last page here, this actually lists what our tax allowance. So back in 2016, actually we had, keep going. So back in 2016, we actually only had $113,000 put away for our tax allowance. And as of the end of 2025, we're at $4.4 million. That's not good. That's why there's so much uproar you hear with other municipalities and these linear and industrial accounts not being paid. So of a part of this 2025 outstanding taxes as well too, I just want to make note at the bottom of this page here, the linear industrial accounts is at $3.3 million. And we do have some other doubtful accounts at 1.1. So that's other commercial accounts that don't fall into that. So we're looking to increase our full allowance to $1.3 million. So I just need a motion by council to accept this or to approve this cancellation. And as we need to cancel it as a part of the motion for the education in order to qualify for the perk rebate of $140,000 for education taxes and $2,500 for the designated industrial requisition. And I should explain what that is. That's a special thing, the province taxes for a linear and industrial account. So it's usually, I think annually we pay, I think it's around $26,000 annually. So it's definitely not like the school.
So just a question, any of this that we write off, if the oil companies ever do pay, that is still on the books. It's not as if it limits our ability to collect that.
That's right. That's right. So absolutely, it's still in the books. And in fact, we actually have a company right now we have one account that's delinquent. They have quite a few tax accounts with us. We have actually one company that's going to be paying about 8 of those, but I can't because until we actually physically get those dollars.
Yeah. Okay.
So if they sell these properties, great, we'll get the money and we can reduce that allowance and that can come back into general municipal services.
So that is registered against the properties that if they sell it, we collect.
There's nothing we can do with industrial, not linear and industrial accounts. There's not much a municipality can do. We don't really have much of a leg to stand on. Unfortunately, that's the big issue with municipalities, and that's why talking to the province, that's having municipalities look after this. It's hard. We don't really have much leg to stand on to go after them. Unlike other properties where we can go into tax recovery things like that and sell the property and get our dollars back. We don't have that with us.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Dale?
So just so I'm clear, the amount for 2025 will be that 1.109644 million, is that correct? Well,
yes.
140.
I'm just looking at that to make sure I haven't made that. Here, that is
It's about,
Yeah, I
just
think I
under
actually
1.2.
made a little bit of error. I think that should be 1.3 up there. I have to do a little bit of amendment there.
And the other question I
here.
had was
No, that's,
a little bit expanding on what Jürgen was talking about. So we're reserving against those is what I take it, rather than writing them off.
we're putting them into allowance.
So, but there's two different terms in accounting, right? Writing them off means you're taking them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Reserving means you're
Yeah.
hoping to get paid.
We are basically right. I know.
Yeah,
but
okay.
For the purpose of this motion, we do
We're
basically write 'em
writing
off.
these off.
Yeah.
Okay,
But we, yeah,
thank you.
it's still,
Any other
But we-
questions? Yeah, they remain on the books.
Yeah.
Just in the background.
yeah, because if they ever did pay,
Yeah.
but it's there to protect municipalities, because if we do have a company that is completely, we do have some that's completely bankrupt and we take it in to completely fully write them off, it's not going to affect our current fiscal year because we have those dollars put away to protect us, to protect that fiscal period.
It's a big problem, as you explained
is.
at our RMA meeting. I mean, you guys that were there that heard it. It's one of the biggest problems for municipalities, rural municipalities, is this non-payment of taxes. And ours is significant and others are way worse.
Yeah.
And so it's
Hire some bone breakers.
you know, it's something we got to fight with the provincial government to put some teeth into it to force them to pay.
Yeah.
And I think every time we talk to our politicians, we got to keep reminding them.
One thing I want to mention too, if there's ever an opportunity in 2026 to go after talk to the provincial government about, because like I said, this is the final year that the perk is being allowed. So in 2026, if they're not paid, there's not going to be that opportunity to get this tax credit for the Alberta education taxes.
Well, I think at that point we'd be tough and we just don't send it to them. I mean it. I
Yeah.
think we as the RMA, we all agree that if they're not going to pay it back, we won't send it to them.
Yep. Yep.
If enough do it, you can't
enough
have
do
one
it, yep.
county doing it.
Yeah, and numbers,
I-
you betcha.
I'm
No, that could
totally
be
in
a very good
favor of
way to do it, yeah.
saying, guys, you're not getting the taxes if you're not going to help us get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
I'll make a motion that we option one.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? That motion's carried. All right, community engagement, grant application Fire Smart. Brent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody today?
Pretty fine.
Excellent. What I got before you guys today is a Fire Smart Wildfire Community Preparedness Day grant application, total for $500. It's a smaller one, but it is going to be used to offset current Fire Smart program expenses. Yep. I also just want to note too that for council, that the funding can also be applied to local community groups, so ag societies, youth groups, seniors groups, if they want to do any of their own programming for this topic, it's available for them to apply to as well. So if you guys want to bring that back to your ratepayers, that's more than available to them.
Okay, my division is applying for $500, so. No.
So is mine.
Sorry, you're late. First come, first serve. I'm just
That was
kidding.
my question, is if there is only one in a fiscal year?
No, it's different. It's aimed towards different community groups. So they can be like in the geographical area of Lac Ste County, you could have different municipalities within or community groups and apply for this funding as well. There was actually, they had in 2025, 404 neighborhoods were approved for this. So just neighborhoods.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a question maybe to Trista, but it just seems to me that we have to approve a $500 application. Seems a little bit of an overkill. And I don't know if that's a matter of looking at policies, but some small applications like this, just somehow that it's reported to us is fine, but that it goes through the approval process through council. Is it a MGA requirement or is it our policy?
It's been our practice. It's not a policy to bring it back. However, typically, when we apply for a grant, it's attached to a level of service, which is set by council.
Right.
So if council were to say, for example, we don't want to do fire smarting anymore, and we're off spending even $500 without that level of service being approved. At this point, fire smart is an approved level of service, but so it's just been general practice to continue to bring every grant application back for that reason. We can absolutely change that.
It's a discussion for another day, but it just seems to me it's, I don't know. I laughed a little bit when I saw it. And
Thanks. Through the Reeve, I would say too, we should look at that, but more broadly speaking, when it's something like economic development, because sometimes funding comes up and there isn't time to bring it back to council. But if council sets that direction and policy that there is a pot through the budget process, that this money is set aside for this and matching dollars come up, then administration has the go ahead to do it. And then it's not coming forward to you that many times. So we can certainly tweak that. So it's a lot better. And then we're using your time more valuably.
I would like something like that. I don't know what the rest of council thinks, but to be informed if, you know, in your, the report that comes monthly, that this has been applied for, I think we need to know, but we don't need to approve. Just that?
Yes, just to further that, I absolutely agree. Administratively, we would love to reduce that red tape as well. As I was saying, the piece to it is if the project's not an approved project through the budget process or not approved level of service.
That's different.
So absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Dale?
I'll make a motion that we do option 1.
All right.
County directs administration to submit a grant application to the Fire Smart Canada Wildlife Community Preparedness Day in the amount of $500.
Thank you. All in favor or discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thanks, I
And
appreciate it.
keep working on that Fire Smart program. I think that's a very, very valuable program. Yeah.
It's not on the agenda, but am I allowed to make a motion that we do what you said, talk about this and give some direction to administration?
I think, Dale, that'll be part of our policy discussion as we move forward, because there's so many things we're going to be addressing, and hopefully Trista or Anna's written that down and that we don't forget it.
Thank you.
Yeah. But good thought. All right, fire apparatus update. Is that, oh, this is Chief this time. You're tag teaming. So Ann, have you met our, yeah, okay.
Good morning, Council. Just as a, by your direction, through to administration, finance and fire services worked out just a current update that was requested by Councillor Johnson. So at this point in time, as council is aware, there was budget capital approved in 2025 for the purchase of a type 1 engine and a type 3 engine, as well as a crew truck. And there was funding allocated for that via debt and asset sales with the figures that you can see there. At a budget of 1.1 million for the type 1 and 740,000 for the type 3. The current status is that the type 1 apparatus was awarded and procured through canoe procurement at a budget of 950,000. And it is sitting in stasis right now. So the truck is ordered, but it's very early in the process. We were able to secure, and we were looking to do a performance bond with that vendor, commercial truck. They offer a discount for 100% prepayment, which they invest, and that's how they are able to give the discount. So the net cost of the truck is $863,000, but it is in stasis right now. So the check is sitting in the vault. It has not been given to that vendor. And I've spoken to the vendor about the possibility, because it was suggested that council may be looking at potentially altering the order, canceling the order, asking administration to come back with options. And so those particular, like right now, the transaction has not been completed. I spoke to the vendor, and I just kind of went out to get an update because of holiday season and whatnot. I wasn't getting the answers that I needed. I can report initially, prior to the holiday break, the vendor suggested that under normal circumstances, a penalty would be incurred of up to $96,000 should council desire to cancel this order and direct administration to seek other options. There's nothing that reflective in this purchase contract based on that says that specifically. It's a typical business practice. Had we given a 10% deposit at the time, that deposit would be considered non-refundable. And because there's certain processes that occur in terms of design, pre-construction, that kind of thing, none of which has happened. Had we proceeded with the order, we would have been flying down to the facility to do a pre-construction meeting. There would be design costs, blueprinting, that kind of thing. That has not occurred. So I confirmed with the vendor today, this morning, that they would be asking for reasonable costs incurred to procure the performance bonds, fees incurred, that kind of thing, or whatever the case is. So I don't have the number yet, but it will definitely not be $96,000 to cancel this order, if that's the position of council. It would be against my recommendation for council to cancel the order at this point, because of course the truck is needed, but of course I will follow direction and seek other options should that be the will of council. The second truck, the Type 3, the RFP has been awarded and the truck has not been purchased. There's still some fine tuning in terms, we're in a negotiation phase with the vendor. So the vendor was awarded the contract at the budget of $740,000, but there were some issues with current costing that I was not happy with. And so we're in a negotiation phase with that particular truck, but nothing has been signed. We haven't proceeded with anything at this point. And so that also remains in stasis. The third and final one, the crew truck, the truck is purchased. It's sitting at the shop. It is awaiting scheduling for lighting installation, radio installation, that kind of thing. So we are well on the way for that particular truck. So that's the update that I have at this time. I can provide further clarification and in terms of options. We are working on that right now because I would like to bring back a report to council at the very least to say, we're looking in terms of what else is out there. Can we possibly refurbish the current apparatus? There is process for that in terms of potentially re-chassising the apparatus with a brand new chassis, which is the biggest component that we're concerned with under the existing aluminum bodies. There's a tremendous cost to doing that, but it is lower than what buying a new apparatus is. There are challenges with that, and I can describe that and give you all those pros and cons at an upcoming meeting here very, very quickly. And of course, we're exploring the used market as well. And if subject to if there's quality apparatus that is functionally workable for our county service, I'd be happy to look at that as well. So that's where we're sitting right at the moment.
Thank you very much. Bill?
So thank you very much for that, because we did need to be updated for sure, because we are in a different situation based on the previous decisions that were made prior to us. So we certainly don't have the money that we thought we had. And it's nice to hear that we weren't committed. It's also nice to hear that you are going to look at other alternatives, because I think we need to have the service. But can we afford to have brand new today? I believe the situation we're in, we can't afford that. So we need to be able to figure out what we can do with what we have to get the best result for the ratepayer. So thank you for that.
Other discussion? Questions to? Chief?
No, I appreciate what you've done and you're looking at other alternatives. That's what I wanted to see personally. I have done some research. If you want to sit down and I can give you some of the ideas I found that are actually would fit quite nicely with huge cost savings, but you get a fairly new machine too. Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to offer to Councillor Johnson's comment. I agree. It has to be workable and affordable for the ratepayers. My biggest concern, however, is our fire personnel. And so we need a truck that fits our current complement and fits the current service levels and the station's services that are provided. And this is what we're attempting to do with the apparatus plan. I can tell you that, and this was my ideology with past council, and it'll be continuing on through here. We're not trying to template our stations like we did in 2003. We are reflective of what those stations currently provide, what those complements are based on the historical recruiting and retaining of the personnel at various stations and what their call types have been across there, and how we can utilize more of a unification. Our whole response plan is based and dictated on a cohesive response and support from station to station, because we're not launching 10 people from every station for everything. We just simply don't have that. So through that, through use, through the call types, we're looking at putting apparatus, functional apparatus that can be utilized by existing complements with forward thinking about how, what is reasonable. The council can keep 6 fire stations, and technically we have 7 with the Onaway. It's considered a satellite. Or council can close 3 stations, or like there's lots of things we can talk about in terms of strategic planning. We don't have a strategic plan. I would encourage that we sit down and thoughtfully determine what that looks like, so that fire services can operate within council's vision, and we can inform the ratepayers as to what it is that we can do. So the physical affirmation of a truck that's purchased at a pretty high value does reflect, because that's what people see. They're very expensive to run a fire service. This is like a very expensive insurance policy. So we want to assure the ratepayers that they're going to get the services. We need to assure our firefighters that the apparatus that they're operating is safe, efficient for them to use, and also functionally specific for them to use. I'll leave you with one comment. The average height of our firefighter has changed in the last 20 years. We're 5'5" to 5'6" now, and our firefighters can't reach the ladders on the trucks, right? So we need to change the design at the very least to make those ladders usable. So there you go.
Yeah, just a quick comment. In my conversation, by no means did I mean deviating from safety, for sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I did look closely at the types of fire engines you need in your specifications, and the research I did, they would match to very, very closely to what you're asking for. I wasn't aware that the ladders would have to be made for shorter people. I'm sure we can modify that here if we had to. But I've been talking with Ed because he's got fire experience and he's been helping me out quite a bit too. And I think we can come to a very good conclusion that'll work for everybody.
What I just wanted to say is the strategic plan is something we're going to be looking at, and certainly fire services and all other services we provide are going to be part of that. So that will be coming out in the next while, and we'll probably be wanting your input as well on the fire services side.
If there's no other questions, thank you very much, Council.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, what's that? Take 5 minutes? Bio break. 5-minute bio break. Oh. All right. Ed, all in favor? Carried. Run, hurry. Okay, we're back. So down to administration. The Williams, from Minister Williams, a request. What's that? What's that? Yeah, I put the Williams before.
Oh,
so-
before, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Is that okay? Yeah. Go ahead, Trista.
So we received an invitation to meet with Minister Williams, Minister of Municipal Affairs, at the RMA convention, March 16th to 18th. They are allowing us to provide up to 3 discussion topics, and we can request that meeting. It's not guaranteed, but we can put in that request. I did hand out, it's a late edition, but I did hand out the invitation to you.
Okay, thank you for that. I definitely think we should accept that invitation, and we should, by when do they want the questions?
January 23rd.
Oh, that's fairly soon. All right.
Does it need to be a motion?
No, I
Thank
don't
you.
think so. But we should have some discussion on what we want to, first of all, if we agree that we want to make an appointment. Is that, yeah, I would definitely think that would be the case. But do we have some topics? Okay, Ann?
Thank you. And through the chair, I just wanted to say to, hopefully when we have time to have a strategic discussion, because RMA is coming up rather soon, I think council should make some decisions on who else they want to see from the cabinet.
Absolutely.
And then we can list usually top 3 items, and then we get briefing notes ready for you.
Yeah.
So if we have that discussion, maybe accept this, but also who else would you like to see?
Yeah.
And get that ready as soon as possible, because the earlier you send it out, the more opportunity you get to actually meet with the minister.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we've got a request in for Devin Dreeshen, and haven't heard back. And so we'll follow up on that one as well.
That's all I was going to say. Yeah, I'll follow
Yeah.
up on that
Yeah.
request to meet
And
with
if
them.
there's any others that we want to meet with as well, that's important. And I don't know how much it helps, but maybe with the, I don't know whether it's with Horner probably, or with the energy minister about, I think we need to pressure more and more on this tax issue from oil companies. I think we bring it up with all of them, but I do believe that and Horner's well aware of it, but it doesn't hurt to keep pushing it. And I'm a firm believer in the more meetings we can get with ministers and their deputies, it just builds a relationship that you can talk to them and phone them. And when issues come up, then that's good. And the 3 points is a good idea. A page full is never good, but just three things to discuss. Then they tend to remember. If you do a page full, they forget it all. So, do we want to put some ideas forward to administration to answer this, because this by the 23rd? So, what we want to talk to Dan Williams about? Just use your mic.
We'll sit down with Ann.
Yeah.
Right away, like when she starts, and we'll
Okay.
get a list of questions put
All
together.
right. Yeah, we can put that list together then. Okay. All right.
No pressure.
All right. Any other discussion on this? Opinions, a motion to accept for information? Ed, all in favor? Carried. All right. Last item on the agenda.
Okay, this is brought for council. This is a standard annual bylaw that we do. The typical purpose for this annual line of credit borrowing is so that we have dollars in our bank account to pay bills for contractors, employees, everybody, because until we collect our taxes, at the due date end of June, we do go into the red for sure. So we need this with our financial institution to ensure that we have enough dollars to pay people and we're not bouncing any checks anywhere. Because I don't think that'd be good. So I'm asking for three readings of bylaw number 01222026, borrowing bylaw operating line of credit.
Okay, thank you, Carla. Any discussion?
I got a question. Does this put us close to like the borrowing limit that they talked about?
No, it's fine. It does not include it in there, so, yeah. Once June hits, we're out of our line of credit, so,
So this gets paid off.
yeah,
in
yeah,
June,
once
basically?
taxes start coming in, then we bounce, we go back into the black, we're good. It's a protection in there, just in case. Sometimes like, we don't get, we get big grants from, LGFF and that, and if we don't get that grant deposited into our account by a certain time, I mean, that protects us. It's basically a big protection from us between, probably, I'd say it probably starts hitting us from March till June 30th and in that area.
So it's
So,
essentially just a line of credit.
yeah, that's all it is, yeah.
You don't borrow the full amount, you just kind
No,
of use it
no,
if-
no, no.
if
We
needed.
typically only, sometimes like at $5 million we've been, probably that's the highest over the last few years we've been at, so.
So the sooner you pay your taxes, the lower it is.
So paying them
We-
under
yeah.
protest on the last day isn't ideal.
Yeah, we used to dip into our borrowing line of credit quite a bit, quite a few years ago, because I've been here since 1921. We used to, our tax deadline used to be, yeah, our tax deadline used to be actually the middle of September. So we really dove into this quite a bit because obviously we had bills to pay and everything. So we were going in the hole quite bad and spending a lot of money on interest charges for that as well too. So.
What sort of percentage of people pay monthly that they start paying already in January?
We do have it quite a bit.
Quite a bit?
Like people on prepayment plans, you
Yeah.
mean, or, yeah, I'd love to give you a number off the top, but can I email you that information to just have a?
It'd just
like,
be an interesting.
there is a
number.
lot of people, and more people are definitely
Want to do it
enrolled in the tax
budgeted,
prepayment
yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Because
Yeah.
that's an interesting,
Yeah.
or helpful to our cash flow.
And I believe we did allow some businesses to be enrolled in it as well too the last couple of years, so that's a good thing too. So.
Yeah.
Good question on that. Would it be if you gave people a little incentive to start paying monthly, you wouldn't have to borrow as much money, you wouldn't pay any interest on your borrowed money? Would that be beneficial to the county to have like a policy like that? I guess to get more people to start paying monthly so that you don't end up running short by June?
Yeah, you're talking about maybe like a dollar incentive to them.
An early
to-
pay discount like you would in a
Yeah,
business.
something we can talk about through the budget deliberations and see what that can look like. So I know some municipalities do that, so.
Interest, you said it's a 3.46 on this, I think. Is that what you said it was?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
3 point something.
Yeah, because the interest on this, if you do go 5 million in the hole at 3.46, it adds up pretty
Yeah,
quick,
it
right?
does.
So if you had a little,
2% quick
Yep.
pay.
We can definitely, something we can talk about, yep.
Yeah.
Well, Trista might be answering.
Trista?
No, I'm not answering that. I'm answering the previous question. We have approximately just under 1,300 on the tax prepayment plan.
1,300.
13, just
that pay
under.
on monthly.
Yeah.
And how many taxpayers do we have? 12,000, so 10%.
Around 5,500, 5,800.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just under 10%. Okay.
That's just residential, and then
Well,
we
that's
have our
good. Yeah.
on-res too.
Yeah. But I mean, it's worthwhile taking a look at it if there's an
Absolutely.
incentive. Dale?
So my question, just for, what is the interest? I can't see that.
3.14 or something. like that.
So
And it'll be floating.
it seems to me that is a little bit expensive. 3%.
It's pretty low for a line of credit.
What? Where can you get money for less? than
Line of credits are usually around 5 to 6% right now.
Where can you get money for less than that? I know of another situation where it's prime. And I mean, we're not talking $1,000 here, we're talking 10,000 or 10 million, I should say. So
Is
I
this
mean,
is
the
this,
bank- The bank came to this other entity and said, here, we can do this for you at prime. And we're
Yeah.
saying 3.5.
So it is, so the 3.6%, where you're getting that from the,
I thought that's what I saw in your notes somewhere. What is interest rate? Was it 3.46, I thought?
that's for Alberta Finance, that's for that
I
debenture.
never did see it. that's
Okay,
why
so
I'm
what's
asking.
what's the interest rate on the line of credit?
It's, I believe, 0.9 above prime, I think it
Okay.
is.
So
0.9
whatever
above prime?
Yeah,
that
0.9
certainly
above
makes
prime.
more sense at that particular,
Yeah.
and that's why when
Yeah, it fluctuates.
I heard this, I thought, okay.
Okay, well, that's the only number I had seen in some of your
Doesn't
notes.
sound right.
Yeah, that was on the
Oh,
fire
that
trucks.
Ah,
was in
that's what it
fire
was.
Yeah.
trucks.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that fluctuates. Alberta Finance gives us some pretty good deals on our rates
Yeah.
through that. So through our financial institution, it does. That's where we're at. So we do
Thanks
get
for the
good
clarification.
good interest rates when we're in the good on that. So
Yeah.
All right, any further questions? Again, something to note for our policy discussions on if there's comparison or other counties that do incentives to pay earlier and that sort of stuff. So worthwhile looking at. Okay. All right, motion. Jill? Option 1, so first reading. Discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. So another motion to give second reading to the bylaw? Barry? Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Then we would need a unanimous consent to move into third reading. So is that a motion too, or is that, yeah, so motion for unanimous consent?
So
Okay.
just
question.
fresh in my mind was our last training, which recommended that council not do 3 readings in the same meeting. Yeah. I know this is a pretty generic one, but if we're going to start that process where we give opportunity, is that going to create an issue accounting wise to move it to the next meeting?
no, we can bring this back for third reading at the 23rd meeting. So we're in the black right now, so we're good. So
We'd be okay till next meeting.
yeah,
So there's
absolutely.
no panic.
But that's good to know for other bylaws. So.
Can I get feedback from Ann on that? What do you think, Ann?
Thank you. And through the chair, I just, normally what is good practice is to put first reading and then not do second and third, because for second, you may want to make some amendments or whatnot. But if you do the first reading, it gives the public the opportunity to know what the bylaw is about. And then at the next council meeting, you can do second and third. But really just doing the first reading is the best practice, because then it's out there and the public knows what the bylaw, and it gives them enough notice.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah. Want to rescind your motion?
Well, we've got the second now, it doesn't matter, yeah. And, but what the will of council, if we don't want another motion, that's fine. And it doesn't affect our cash flow. We could do that, the third reading, certainly at the next council meeting. Yeah. So if that's the will, we'll just move on then. All right? Thank you for that. All right, I don't believe we have anything else, and we don't have any items for closed session. So, boy, that's a first without a closed session too. Look at that. So with that, I will adjourn the meeting and thank everyone for attending. Thank you, staff, for all your reports, and council for expediting everything through. Meetings adjourned.